Hey, it's time again for Drummer Nation Live, the show where drummers talk about drums and all things drumming. I went to Nashville for the Summer NAMM show, sort of. I'll tell you all about it, but I also had a great visit at the New Forks, an interview I did with Steve Maxwell, the owner, that you'll be seeing soon, and a preview look at the new digs for the manufacturing for Craviotto drums now being moved to Forks. All coming up as soon as I can figure out how to get out of this box. It's time for Drummer Nation.
Our latest innovation has opened the door for all drummers to have the same access as top musicians in the world. Custom cymbals. Now available to everyone. Your next sound just got more interesting. Sabian Custom Shop.
Hello everyone, my name is David Victor. I'm General Manager with the Craviotto Drum Company. We wanted to offer a one-ply, solid shell product, but we wanted it to stay true to our mission of offering handmade drums of uncompromised quality built here in the USA. So take a listen to our Center Stage Series drum set.
These Regal Tip Session sticks feel great. They kind of put me in the mindset of a thinner and lighter 5A. Go to regaltip.com, order a pair, or go to your nearest music store. Pick up a pair and let us know exactly how you feel about the stick.
Memphis Drum Shop is the world's premier provider of percussion instruments. With 6 showrooms of gear, mycymbal.com, the Memphis Gong Chamber, and a first-rate repair department, turn to Memphis Drum Shop for all your percussion needs. Okay, and with that, we're live. You know what? Forgot to turn on my... Hang on one second. There you go. Now I'm lit. Hey, we're live. Drummer Nation Live comes to you every week at Wednesday at 1 o'clock on our affiliate ad hoc network on Facebook, and then it's also posted in archive, and we do a proper podcast every couple of weeks where I interview some great people. Today you got me all by myself with some reflections on what's been happening, but in the last few weeks I've had some guest hosts, you might call them, and started off, we had Paul Krybick, LA session drummer, talking about his Muffbone. We have a full-blown interview with him coming up, but we did talk about entrepreneurship and his product, the Muffbone. Evan Stone, my buddy, also on the West Coast, has a great, crazy band, the Translucent Ham Sandwich Band, and I use crazy in this case as a positive. It's a compliment. And then last week I had Daniel Glass with me through the magic of Skype science, and he talked about traditional grip. So the cool thing about this is I call them my wingmen because we're winging it, man, and I don't know what we're going to talk about. If I have the topic, I don't tell them ahead of time. If they have a topic, they don't tell me ahead of time. So we like to wing it and have a lot of fun. Hey, I just talked to my buddy Ricky Rocket, who's going to do one as well. I hope to get him in here next week. When I say in here, we do it over the magic of Skype. But Ricky said he'd be doing one. So watch for that. Here I am back. Okay. I went to NAMM a week and a half ago, kind of. I mean, the show has all but disintegrated from a drummer's point of view. It's kind of a regional guitar show. Not bagging on the show, there just wasn't anything really there for drummers. None of the, I don't think any cymbal companies. A new cymbal company from Japan, I think I heard was there, but the big guys weren't. And I did go visit with Andy Zildjian. He comes down for meetings, and we have a meeting every a couple of times a year to talk about Crescents, which we'll get to in a minute. Where I did go was Forks Drum Closet, which is now owned by Steve Maxwell, who is the owner of Maxwell's in New York and the Chicago area. Now he's in Nashville. So he's a guy really on the move, and he's also at the helm for Craviotto. So the store looks terrific. I should have gotten this gentleman's name, but that's the front counter. You see the sticks and the snare drums, and there's plenty of stuff, man. Plenty of inventory. Here's some more. They're just walking around the store, looking around. There's an upstairs and a downstairs, and it's packed with gear, and a little less so than a little less concentrated on vintage and super high-end gear like the other stores, though they have that. More focused on the working drummer in Nashville, since it is a shop that services the community in an industry town with plenty of great drummers. So he's promised more of the same, plus some new things. So that is the new Forks. And I did an interview with Steve there that will show at the main interview show, the podcast, I call it, coming up. And those podcasts are available wherever fine podcasts are available. If you like podcasts, you'll know where to find them. And they're available in video and audio. So a lot of times people will download podcasts, watch them, listen to them in the car, stuff like that. If you wish to do so, please do. Now, the other place he took me was nearby, about a couple miles away, I think. And he's got this giant warehouse that he's also renting. And it's going to be the home of a lot of things. Right now, he walked me through it, and it's huge. It was just some things stored there. They do have a showroom up front for classical music. You see there's some marimba there, and looks like a xylophone in the background, some timpani, chimes, big stuff. And he's already got that going on. But the warehouse is also going to be the home, and they've already started to get the products in from California, where they're shipping all the Craviotto production gear. And it's going to be under the auspices of Sam Bacco, who is the player in the symphony there and has a long history in the percussion world, manufacturing and such. Great cat. So I just walked around shooting a few pictures. And while I was there, lo and behold, a truck came. They had a couple still coming, and this is all loaded to the gills with the construction, production, manufacturing gear for the drum company. So it was nice to visit Steve, and he's got a head of steam going there. I think the staff, everybody at Forks, is pretty much the same. So if you dug doing business there, I can urge you to continue doing so. And I wish Steve the best of luck with what he's got going on there. He's got his hands full with both companies. Now, I did take the opportunity to meet with Andy Zildjian because he bought our company, Crescent. I'm very proud of the fact that I started a new brand, Crescent Cymbals, with my partners. And in 2 years' time, I sold a cymbal company to a man named Zildjian. And, we came out nicely on the deal, and so did everybody. It's been a good win-win-win for everybody concerned. But just that little, floats my boat to say, yeah, man, I got in and I got out. And it's kind of to me like inventing a guitar and selling it to a guy named Fender. But enough blowing my own horn. I'm very happy with the outcome. Here's the new catalog, or at least a page from the new catalog. It's all done in a certain graphic style with this new branding they have. You see there's some fonts and distressed backgrounds and graffiti type logos and things. That is for our Crescent. We have a whole spread for that. And then a lot of people don't realize that the Vanguards were released under the HH series, and they are former Crescent models. So the models that are there that you'll see for Crescent at Sabian are the signature models, the Hammer Tones from Jeff Hamilton, the Stanton Moore series, obviously from Stanton Moore, the Element series that I designed with Mark Love, just as we were making the brand change, and the Vanguard series, which was our hallmark mainstream jazz cymbal, where Jeff's is certainly a little more versatile and more personal to him. But those 4 series are available. They're all in a new catalog. And how are the reviews, Michael? Well, I wanted to make sure we held up our part of the deal with Sabian. We knew they could make great pies, but the reviews came in on all 4 of those models, and they are outstanding. So to a single one. I don't think I've read a bad review. And some of the great things people are saying, I noticed this is a drum magazine review about the hammer tones. Each hammer tone is a joy. This is taken directly from the review. You can look all this stuff up online. The 22 Chinese is a thunderstorm on a leash. I love that expression. I always like good writing. Thunderstorm on a leash. Crescent's hammer tone cymbals are an absolute home run. An absolute home run. So if you read the, and I agree. We agree, and we thank Sabian for getting them right. Especially the hammer tones were so hard to make. We went through that several incarnations in the past, as you've been following our history. And every time Jeff works with these guys, they're like, wow, really? This is interesting. And it's always new techniques to them and new concepts, and they ate it up and loved it and did a great job. So hats off to everybody at Sabian for allowing us to shape our sound in their facility. And what a great team, what a great group of people. I don't see any comments. If you wish to comment, please do so. Most people watch this in post. So I'm going to continue onward here, but first we're going to hear from a few more of our sponsors. 1 minute.
Introducing the Star Festival snare drum from Gary Astridge, a handcrafted and precision replica of the rarest and most iconic of drums, Ringo Starr's 1963 Ludwig Jazz Festival. Each instrument is authorized and hand-signed by Ringo Starr and will benefit his charity, the Lotus Foundation.
Hi, this is Stanton Moore. I've been playing and teaching drums for over 30 years. My new site, Stanton Moore Drum Academy, is the perfect online drum learning platform for any level drummer to learn how to play the drums the same way I did. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of you as subscribers on the site, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Drummers seeking a quick and easy way to muffle bass drums on the fly, look no further. Muffbone offers an effective way to instantly dial in your sound in just a few seconds while seated at the kit. Find out more at muffbone.com. When seated at the drums, pressure on the tailbone, lower back, and hip joints can lead to pain. Only Carmichael drum thrones are scientifically designed to relieve and prevent discomforts associated with prolonged sitting. Carmichael thrones, we got your back. Okay, I appreciate my sponsors. I appreciate you guys paying attention to those sponsors. I only run 8 15-second ads, so that's a minute in the front and a minute in the middle. I don't think that's too much to endure for a wonderful show like this with your cool host. I'm in a good mood. I'll tell you why in a few minutes. We'll get to that. Following my little trip to Nashville, right after that, I had a visit in Atlanta from Stanton Moore. You can see he's behind that big flag. That they were part. This is Galactic. And they were part of the George Clinton mega tour that he's got going on. So it was at the Fox Theater, a beautiful location. And I always make it a point to hear Stanton Moore because the band treats me like family. Plus, I dig the music. Stanton's my business partner. So here I am. Well, here's the band, me shooting it, standing in the wings. So I always like that, hanging out in the wings, in the dressing room, the bus, or whatever. But whenever I see Stanton, we get together, and that's a little closer in. You can see there's a drummer up there, and it's Stanton Moore. And then backstage, I said, let me get a picture of this case. He told me he had a new trap case. That's his trap case. That's the size of, I don't know, hell, you could put half the band in there. So all those slots have drums that slide into them, and all the cases, and I mean all the stands and pedals and whatnot. And that whole thing rolls right off the loading dock and into the truck. So that is pretty cool. Anyway, Stanton sounded great. I told him, man, I think the band keeps sounding better and better every time I hear you guys. And they like those kind of tours because they only have to play one set. That's kind of nice. Anyway, everybody in the band did okay with the flooding or whatever that was in New Orleans. Some guys had some property damage, but nothing like what could have happened. So New Orleans dodged a bullet on that one. But there is some confusion as to how come they were able to shore up the lakefront and the river, and those places aren't flooding now with these storms. But the high places in the city that have never flooded, the streets are flooding with thunderstorms. So what's a few billion here and there to fix that, right? Anyway, I hope New Orleans will get its act together, knowing New Orleans. And it's my hometown, so I can bitch about it too. Knowing New Orleans, they never will. All right, let's keep moving on. The next thing I want to talk about is, I've made no bones about the fact that I had some health issues. Looking for what I want to show you. There it is. I had some health issues, and I was down for 6 months. You can be feeling great and looking great, and everything's terrific, and all of a sudden, bingo, you're on your back for 6 months. Now, I wasn't on my back for 6 months, but I did have an issue, and then surgery, and then it was a period where I couldn't lift anything heavier than a milk jug. So I'm not, this isn't woe is me. It's a positive story in that I was able to come out of the other side of surgery, cancer survivor now, 100% clear, clean bill of health, thank God. But I couldn't play. I hardly played for 6 months. And so I had a gig the other day. And, I've done, it wasn't a special gig. I've played for 250,000 people before. I did 10 years of 300 dates a year here. I figured out I've done maybe 5,000 gigs. So it wasn't that it was, wow, a gig. It was just the fact that I'm able to play again. And I had a gig with Mike Kelly, this club called Venkman's. And I used my little bebop kit and hammer tone cymbals and recorded some stuff with just a little Zoom device, a Q2N. They're like $150. You sit them behind or next to or wherever you want. You get you can find better audio, you can find better video, but to find better audio and video in one thing for $150, I don't know what that might be. So I'm going to show you a little piece of music. I'm not bragging. I didn't pick something really up. I didn't pick some crazy Latin thing. I didn't pick some things where I had 4s and 8s, and I did have. They gave me my space. Mike Kelly and Mike Bouchard. But I picked something where I'm just playing a, medium tempo, slow medium, like 90 beats a minute, just because it felt so damn good to me to be playing. So humor me this, and I'll play you, a minute or two of this. And don't those hammers sound great? Whoops, that ended abruptly. All right. So, sometimes just closing your eyes and playing a medium tempo groove with not trying to show off, not playing anything special, just smiling, close your eyes, smile, and have a good time playing. And that's what that was for me. So thank you, Mike Kelly, for the gig. And I'm back. I feel like I'm back. Couple of calls to action. Sign up for the Drummer Nation newsletter, please. If you go to drummernation.com, you will see this sign-up form, and if you fill it out, you will be sent the link to download a white paper I did on social media for artists. And it's pretty current and some good information in there. If you're not up to speed with that, this might give you a little hand. All right, Patreon, you know what that is. You can pledge support for the show. We do this on a shoestring. And when I say we, I mean me. We be me. So if you can help me that way, I would appreciate it. Coming up, we seem to have lost my camera. This happened once before. I don't know why. Well, I can finish the show without it. We have Matt Wilson coming up, Tina Raymond, Paul Krybick, Steve Maxwell, and a whole lot of people I will get to as soon as I can. I don't want to get too far ahead of the game, show you an interview that was recorded 6 months ago. So with that, I'm going to bow out here and run the credits for the affiliate network and then the bumpers out. All right? See you next week, Wednesday at 1, and check out our podcast wherever you dig getting podcasts. Thanks a lot. Bye.